Hey traders, Mike Katz here with 7 Points Capital, bringing you today's trader takeaways. Back in the office today. Yesterday I traded out of the Jersey office. By the way, great group of guys there. Had a lot of fun trading with them. Really good traders, and we're actually looking to expand the Jersey office. So for those of you who are in Jersey area and looking to join a trading firm, give them a shout. And I think that they're a great group of guys to work with. But today the market had some action. I did pretty well. I had a really nice day, and a lot of it had to do with just good volatility. Starting with the SPYs, we can see that we gapped down based off some more tariff news with Trump and China retaliating. We surprisingly popped in the morning and retraced a decent amount of those losses, but then we faded again into the close. So SPYs again now looking like 279, 280 as a top side resistance, and 274 is a first support, and then lower down there is 269-ish. So today I was focused on the short side. I traded quite a bit of spiders. That ended up being a really good one. On the spiders, let's see if we could zoom in out of these. Boom. All right, so let's get rid of these wicks, and then we can kind of see the market kind of headed higher, and it looked to me like potentially we had some weakness in that the way that these rallied gave me a clue where we took out a stop and failed, and that tells me that they're just stop hunting. And if I see that, then I'm gonna try to also participate. So I got a couple of feelers on here. You could see that I got short. I didn't do any covering, and then when it came back, shorted some more, and the whole time I'm thinking they're a little bit higher, but not much. Up here is where I would stop out, and then did a little bit of covering, lighten up, and then bam, on the next bounce got some size, covered a tiny bit, and then just stayed with it for the rest of the day because it was working. And I was focused on a few other things which we'll go over, but it was working, and I was expecting a pretty big unwind, much bigger than the one we got. And it was still a great day in the SPYs, but I was really shooting for a home run trade. So just basically those, and SPY was really good. What else was in play? We had, I'll talk real quick about ACHV. This thing is just, a small float, and I'm getting a lot of questions on Twitter and DMs about this symbol. Why did I look at it? Well, it was gapping up quite a bit. It had a lot of warrants at $4 that were issued, and the float was bigger than what was displayed in most websites like FinViz and those places, probably because the warrants that were sold, exercised, and the shares sold to the public, which makes the float bigger. And it traded much bigger than what it said. So on there it said 500,000 or 600,000 share float, which is very tiny, right? I usually stay away from those. But the way it traded like a 2-3 million share float, which is still small, but not nano cap like 500,000 shares, 250,000 share float. So I was pretty active in this, and initially, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. I was interested in it because of the $6 top here back in, what is it, like a month ago. So I had 6 on my brain, and then it failed pre-market, came back, looked like it was going to go again, but I used the morning volatility to kind of scalp into some positions, knowing that there's going to be a lot of big spikes. And then when it picked the direction, I wanted to make sure I had size. So let's look at ACHV on the execution chart. And yeah, so I started in a little pre-market, just a starter feeler. And if it was going to get above 570, 580, that area, then I would try to stop out and then watch it, and then probably re-engage at $6. But it 30s and then added a whole lot here at 550. And I was going to stop out if it went north of 70, 80, which came kind of close, but it just couldn't sustain it there. Then in here, it looked like there was a lot of soaking on the offer, lots of buying, but the offers weren't really lifting, a lot more selling than what was displayed. And basically I got that nice little wash pretty quick, covered some just to lock in case we get another pop where I can engage, covered some more on the next drop. And now I'm thinking, okay, this is backside. This thing is a piece of crap, and most likely it's going back to where it came from. 450, $4, 350. Those were my targets. So when we popped up into the consolidation there, I hear screaming outside out of the room, so probably there's a score. The England game's on now, so I'm going to wrap this up quick and go watch. But basically, got some size here, covered a tiny bit, put it back on, got much bigger here at 480. And to me, basically what I saw at 480 was the rejection at 5. Big rejection at 5 twice. Comes down, couldn't bounce off of 480 like it did before. And I used that opportunity here to put on some size and then just watched it go sideways, no bounce. And then bam, it cracked nice. Took some off, just a little bit, probably like 20%. Put it back on a bounce. And then when it unwound, cover. Lowest I made it was 405, I believe. So this ended up being a really nice trade. And how did I know? Nobody knows, right? It's just risk reward. And I could have easily stopped out and probably tried again. Happens to me often in these names. But this one I got lucky. I didn't stop out. It was pretty close to getting out of this if it went a little bit higher and held. But it ended up working. And the dilution was there, right? Lots of warrants, lots of nothing going on in this company. They're just professionally able to get the price pumped so they can raise some capital and pay for their operations. So this one was really good. I'm cashing this. Pretty much gave up all the meat on the bone and no reason to hold for overnight for me. What else? And then Riley mentioned that the airlines are in play. He asked me about my airline basket, how that's looking. So that kind of got me interested in the airlines basket. And American Airlines, basically, they said they're guiding lower for Q2, and that affected the whole sector. And I've got my basket. Let's look at my basket here. So my airline basket took a big drop in the morning, and I didn't do anything. I didn't even see it. But when over here, Riley mentioned it. So when it bounced, I kind of waited for it to top out and see when it wants to curl down again. And right here, started with a feeler and added as it worked. And then you could see that the range wasn't massive. But if I had been in this thing earlier, man, I could have probably retired for a year. But even this small range that I did catch was very nice. And the names in the basket are American Airlines, and you can see that I got the starter and then the bunch of ads, cover tiny bit, and then add again as the basket went lower. And I'll mention the other ones. DAL is the other one. And when I execute these, I'll execute them all with one click. It'll send market orders in to sell the basket or buy the basket. JetBlue, Love, and then UAL. So what you guys can notice here is the second I put on the basket, I could tell what's working and what's not. AAL, American, was working really well, right? Delta was working okay, right? That when I put it on, went lower. Love, also put it on, it works, goes lower, great. And then UAL, same thing. The one standout was JetBlue, and JetBlue, when I would short, it wouldn't go down, right? So my thinking here was I want to short the weaker one, and that was American Airlines. So in addition to what I was doing in the basket, I put on a separate trade, manual trade, where I sized in American here, and I was risking off of these highs off of 11, 37.11. It was right around 37 figure, holding below 37. And after I put on a couple of basket trades, I really sized here with just another manual trade aside from the basket. And that ended up really working out. And that's the thinking there, right? I want to short a lot more aggressively the ones that are weaker. And how could I tell what's weaker? It's easy. When I put on a basket, whatever my P&L is green, then it's working. Whatever's not, like JetBlue wasn't working, I didn't do anything there. But the ones that were weaker, I sized in, specifically American Airlines, and then did some covering down here, and I was pretty much flat here. But then it set up another trade in JetBlue when I was watching the basket curl up and go higher. Knowing that JetBlue wasn't weak, I figured, you know, let me start into a long position here in JetBlue right here. So I just scalped a little bit, nothing great, but I was really looking to see if I can potentially leg into a bigger position if it started working, and if there was going to be a recovery in the sector. This is the symbol that I wanted to be long, but it kind of fizzled out. So just what I bought, I sold, and I never got a whole lot bigger there. But the thinking again was, let me buy the stronger one. And earlier when I was short the basket, I was short a lot heavier in the weaker one. So that's kind of been my day. Pretty good action. Good to be back in the office. I'll be in the rest of the week. Looking forward to earnings season kicking off and bringing us some additional catalysts and volatility. But overall, really great day. The desk had a fantastic day, and that's all you can really ask for. So thank you guys for watching. This is Mike Katz with 7 Points Capital, bringing you today's trader takeaways, and I am off to go watch overtime in the England game. Thanks, guys.